This is Damon Stevens with FinWealth Builders. Today is Tuesday, June 28, 2022. This is a stock market update for trades of the day. So interesting day, had a nice little pullback. So the market decided to come back and revisit some lows. So hopefully you're able to catch some of that today and you were successful in your trades. We talked about this in the video last night and it looks like some of this played out. So let's get right into take a look at it. Also some exciting things with Nike that we talked about last night as well played out today. So let's get right into it. Take a look at what's going on in the market. So looking at the Dow Jones, it closed down 1.56%, NASDAQ down 2.98%, and S&P 500 down 2.0%. So just see this nice trickle effect, just trickling down all day long. You can see here energy stocks though continue to do well, just money moving back in there. We talked about that, that there's a possible rally. It looked like it was going to break out, and it did. And then you see that we also talked about pullbacks, that looked like everything closed the candles down at the bottom of their candle last night, which didn't look very good for the market. And obviously that played out today. So hopefully you're able to catch that and take advantage of that. Again, this the ticker here, we had nothing really over 100%. AGRX was a possibility for a nice little pull, but did not get that one today. Didn't catch anything off of here. Looking at tomorrow, we do have some information coming in tomorrow and Thursday. So just some GDP information. Don't know if this is going to have any effect. Thursday may, probably more than any other day this week. But definitely just something to be aware of, that there is some speaking out there. Jerome Powell will be speaking 9 a.m. Eastern time. So that'll be, close to when the market's opening. So we'll see if there's any reactions to any of this news before the market opens, but just watch the VIX, make sure it's not elevated, or if it is like it is now, we could have some, another down day. But just watch out for a fake out too, because, typically we do see a rally. Don't know if it's possible or not, but typically we do see a rally, and it could happen right, right in the end of the week, maybe Thursday. Could even be possible as late as Friday, or, market could just fake us out and trade down. So let's take a look. What I'm looking at here is an update on our call and put ratio. So these are people buying calls and puts in the market. You see here there's about almost 1.5 times as many puts being put in the market, people shorting the market than going long on the market. You see here the kind of put wall starts here kind of around 370, and you see tons of people shorting the market. But also we saw these spikes today. So 390, a ton of calls at 400. So people expecting the market to rally up. So this is kind of that middle zone right here. So kind of between that 370 and 390. So we'll see what happens here at the max pain. The people who lose the most amount of money back to the stock market would be 385. We're sitting here at 380. So that would be a little bit higher. So that means we'd have to have some type of little bounce from our current levels if the market decided they want to make it cash in on all these people buying calls and puts this week. So we'll see if that happens or not. We do have a holiday weekend coming in and also a short day on Friday. So be careful of that. A lot of people may be taking off early for the weekend too in the US for that holiday. And if they are, then very well could, impact, Thursday would probably be the best day for something to happen, unless we have a trickle up Friday. So just something to be aware of. Looking at, live right now, what's going on here with the ES E-mini 500. It's on a 15-minute chart. You can see here that the E-mini, the S&P 500, was just kind of going up and down through this channel that we had. And then today it kind of broke out from the channel, broke that line, or trend line, broke the 200 and just continued down from there. And you see here that we were right up here. We talked about this last night. They were kind of up in the upper deviation bands. And you see kind of where we're at now. We're at this lower band right here. This is where we stopped for the day, is right here. So could we break this level here? It's possible, but, we could also get a bounce here. So looking to see, do we hold this level? Do we flatten out? You see it kind of did for the end of the day. We kind of flattened out here. So we'll see if we get a bounce off of here. It's possible to have another rally come back up here and test, up here around, those max pain levels are a little bit higher, maybe 390, 391, possibly by the end of the week. But right now, we did pull back, so just be aware of that. We could have some downside here coming. Looking at a daily chart, the E-minis. You can see here, talked about this in the video. So we got above the 20-day moving average, but we closed weak, and you see we pulled right back down on this candle here. We may retrace, it's possible to retrace this candle possibly, close to the bottom, which would put us around, just under 380 area, and then possibly bounce off of here. That's a possibility as well. But right now we are showing weak to the downside. So here's a weekly chart. So again, retracing this candle down, we talked about this, that we may retrace this candle since we kind of closed on this candle. We're kind of like right in the middle last night between these two candles. So do we retrace, find maybe some support? If we found support here on our lower deviation band, which we broke through down to the 200 before, that would put us around, 378, possibly for a bounce if there is good support here still on this lower band. Although now that we broke it, through it twice, it may be a weak spot now. Another one, Nike. So I talked about this last night. I caught some of this here after hours, but then I told you I had to leave. And then I came back later, and then on my computer, I saw, man, we caught clear back to 107, just 106.75. I was like, wow, maybe it was good I missed it, because I was long on it and got out. I didn't hold it. But boy, if you caught some of this, either side or both sides, congratulations. And you see here through the night, kind of stayed flat. And then this morning, another opportunity. So big spike down, tagged, down here towards this bottom here, and all the way back up to that high almost. So almost the whole range was caught again today. So you got two trades on here. If you didn't catch the one after hours last night, you got a chance to get it today. And then it kind of just faded off with the rest of the market. But boy, nice run on Nike. Nike was, rewarding people well this round of earnings. Looking at Google here on the daily chart, you can see here we pulled back and we actually retraced, more than all this entire candle. Actually broke below the 20-day moving average. So, if I'm looking at the chart, Google looks now weak. So, do we pull down here further, and does Google kind of sell off here, or if we get a bounce back above that 20 right now? Google's looking down. Amazon closing on the end of day two, looking weak, back below the 20. So we're back below the 20-day moving average, which means we could be coming back down to revisit some of these areas, like for Amazon, it's that 103 area. Apple retrace, we did kind of feel a gap in, but we're back below the 20 again. So look for some support here, maybe around this 132.61 area, which was kind of this low right here, for some support. Nvidia down as well. Look for support around this 155.64 level, maybe for some support and a bounce. Meta, we engulfed this entire candle. So, very well likely, pulling down here possibly to, 156, maybe even, lower, maybe put a new low in on Meta at this point on the Meta. So maybe we come down here and tag this, midline again at 148. If not, we could possibly get right back into this channel again and go lower. So Meta's not looking good. Meta's looking like it's pretty weak there. Tesla, you see we're on this downtrend obviously, and we kind of hit this level here between the 50 and the 20, and we pulled back and we're back below the 20 again. Now we have a gap to fill down here, so it's possible that the market decides to go fill that gap. But we're below our support lines here now, so we'll look for possibly some more downside. Continue to subscribe and like our videos, and that we can bring this content to you. Also, if you go to fenwealthlive.com, you can get a link to our free Discord where we post numbers before the market opens, so you kind of know what we're trading and what levels we're trading and when we're getting in, when we're planning to get out. And you can also get some free training there as well. And then we also have some other services available. So definitely check it out, fenwealthlive.com. Dollar stayed on that 20. Here's our lower trend line. We were just staying right on it. Now we broke it. So we broke to the upside here. So, we could come back and retrace this and bounce. or, we could just start to rally up here. We do have resistance around that, that old high. We have one up here at 105 and then also up here almost 106 here. So see if we can get some rally going here, but dollar's starting to turn around here. Gold continue to have this sell-off. Nothing to change there. Still a downward movement. US oil, nice little bounce, got above the 20-day moving average. You left a gap there. But, this 20-day looks good. If we can hold that tomorrow morning and stay above it, then it looks like we can possibly rally up on US oil tomorrow. We're going to have the VIX here. We talked about typically we have a few days here where we are at that 100-day moving average and pop back up. That's exactly what we did today. We're down here at the lows here on the 100. We bounced, but we're sandwiched between the 20, the 50, and the 100. So if the VIX spikes back above the 20-day, look for some additional downside, especially if it gets above 30, then look for the market to continue to react downward. If this can pull right back down again and tag maybe down to a resistance line, which you can see it's done before, then we could possibly get the market to start rallying up here. We have the SPY. So here you can see that this pullback here, that we had that weakness last night, continue to pull back. We're engulfed this candle here. And here's a little gap here to fill right below. It's possible we could fill that gap and bounce off of it, but we could also, blow through this gap, and we have another gap here to close as well. So we just got to see what the price action brings in the morning and what the volatility is going to be like. We do have a holiday weekend for the U.S. coming up here with the 4th of July. So the market will be closed on Monday for the U.S. So lots of things can happen here, especially with the volatility, and we are in a downward trend. So just keep that in mind as well. Looking at this SPY on a weekly chart here, just wanted to show you this. We have this huge tight wedge here, and this is kind of where it came down, tagged that 20 outside our deviation bands, came back into it, and then we got back up into it, but now we closed kind of back towards the bottom of it again. So see if we can kind of get a bounce here and some support. If not, we could come back here and possibly retest the 200-day moving average or break through it even. And I'm sorry, that's a 200 weekly average. It's on a weekly chart. Triple Qs on the daily chart, you can see here, triple Qs were able to rally up here to support line, found resistance, came back down, and right here just kind of engulfed this whole thing and filled this gap on the way down. So we'll see if it continues down here. We should have some support, possibly around 278 or at the bottom of this gap here. So maybe around 271, 270 area. So we'll see if we can get a bounce off this, or if we just can continue heading lower on triple Qs. IWM, you can see we pull back again, below the 20-day moving average, but we did not engulf this candle. We do have a gap to fill down here, but we didn't engulf this candle. So, it's possible you find support and bounce off of here, or may go back and fill that gap. The financial XLF, you can see we're back into this candle here. So if the market opens up weak, we very well could start to retrace the rest of this candle down here towards 31, 34. If not, we have to get clear back up here. We have to have a nice little rally to get above this 20-day moving average to run this again. So we need to get really above 32.50 to have a rally at the end of the week. Healthcare, huge pull back here. So we spiked up above the 100 and then pulled all the way back through the 100, the 200, and the 50, and filled out most of this gap here that we had left open. So, possibly we can go fill this gap, down to 126 area and then bounce back up to north side, or we could, fail and continue to grind back towards these lows. But typically, on a accumulation distribution chart, typically this is kind of what you see, almost like, you see a double bottom, a pull up and a pull back, and then you rally off of here. So I'm curious if we can, that's what I thought we might be, in the process of doing here, but maybe it's going to be short-lived here and we're going to come back down and restart at the levels again. Energy sector. So we got back above, our lower deviation bands. We're sitting right on that 50 days. So if we break up above 75.50. Look for, a rally back up and maybe towards 78. If we break down below it, come back here and we'll test our trend lines around 73. Looking at Bitcoin here, you see it's kind of curling out here. Checking back in on our support line that we have here. So we'll see if we can hold 20,000. If we don't, we might come back here and revisit, 18,000 at some point. If not, we should bounce off of here and retest this 22,500 level. Looking at Ethereum, same thing. You got this little curl up here. So very well, we could come back and retest it. We really got to get above this 1286. We want to rally up towards, back up towards this 1600 area. If not, we might curl back down here and retest these lows again. So that's our stocks, our cryptos, things we're looking at in the morning. Definitely watch the VIX. If it's going above 30, definitely going to see a market pullback. If we can get the VIX to drop back down towards 25, then we can possibly see that rally before the end of the week, before this holiday weekend for those in the US. So keep that in mind. We'll also post our watch list in the morning with levels on it too, so that you'll be ready. So please come join us and let's make some money together. Everybody have a great night, and we'll talk tomorrow and see how our trades went and what to do the next day.